Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out.
Let's do that.
Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Bam! That's me. Travis Bridges. Here's hoping you're having a fantastic Wednesday evening. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the truth. This was not a good Wednesday for me, but there's something about sitting here listening to the introduction when it comes on. It's like, a little voice comes into my head and say, man, you can't turn on that camera or that microphone with that energy or that attitude. You ever been on a job, or you ever been, in a relationship, or, even with your family, you're advised and they'll say something to the effect of, leave your job at work and don't come to work with your problems at home. You've heard that before. You've been on a job and someone will come in and, they have a bad attitude, and it's clear, that something happened either in traffic on the way home, or, they brought some husband or wife issues to work, or maybe even some children or neighbor issues with them. And it's like a person who thinks that, they're getting rid of the smoke when they go outside and smoke a cigarette. I have someone that I know that won't smoke in the house, but they'll go outside and smoke and then come in the house with all the fumes around them. It's like, you need to stay out there about 30 more minutes before you come back in, because I don't want to smell that. And smokers have a problem if you don't want to smell their smoke. But anyway, back to my point, when we go into work, or we come home and we've got the stench of work on us, and we come through the door and bring that with us. Well, I was about to bring that with me onto this camera and into this mic, but that voice says, that funky smell that you smell when someone just comes in from smoking? Well, that's what you're going to look like and sound like if you turn on that mic and open that camera in front of these 6 people that are here with you. So don't do that. So just as the intro started, I turned my frowned and sad face into a happy face, because as I would always tell anybody that tells me they're in a funk, gratitude is the best way to peace and happiness. So as much as I want to sit here and drown in my tears, I'm going to think about the fact that I am healthy. Thank God, knock on wood. I can talk, I can see, I've got food, and I'm happy, really. It's just if we dwell too long on things that are a little less than perfect, the more we focus on it, the bigger it gets. So I'm going to come on with that as a motivational and an encourager. If you're feeling bad, if you know you're going to feel bad, go ahead and enjoy the bad feeling for as long as you can. But realize that you're not created to feel bad or to be down for long. And hopefully you have company or friends around you that will recognize that and do a little something to cheer you up. So with that being said, I'm just going to move on. And I do have a couple things that I wrote down. Oh wow, I can't believe I wrote that. It's like where did hate and jealousy come from? And the abusers of those, those things, hate and jealousy, people who practice those things. Um, turn the what did I say? I can't read my own writing. Excuse me. Turn the outer other. Oh, yeah. It's like turn the other cheek. Oh, yeah. I wrote that. This is what I was gonna talk about. You ever watch movies? Of course you do. And you see like, maybe some activity where it doesn't look good, where people are inflicting their pain. Let's see who's here with me first. Let me do that. Tasha, hey, Christine. Eddie Alberto Clark. Can't wait to meet my brother from another mother. Absolutely. Got plans for the weekend. And yeah, I know I've got to get it together before I see you, Al. You and Angie. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to tell that story. Am I going to tell that story? It's too late to delete now, Al. I already read it. But it's okay. No problem. No, I'll tell the story later. I tell you what I'll do. I'll take some pictures after the weekend and I'll bring them back next weekend. But let me tell y'all, something really weird happened over the weekend. You know how these 1 in 10 million things happen? Oh, not 10 million. 1 in, let's say 5 million. 1 in 5 million things that happen, and you go, wow, that's amazing. Well, I had a 1 in a million type thing happened to me over the weekend, and I'm still not over it. And I'm going to share it with you guys next week because I'm going to hang out with some friends that I connected with, and I'll tell you the story. But anyway, back to the point I was trying to make. No, I'm not going to tell the story now, Al. Wait, man, you have to save it. But it's an incredible story, and I can't wait to get some more information and maybe even some photos, and I'll tell a whole story. So listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to put it out there. Next week, I'm going to tell the incredible story of what happened last weekend with some folks that just popped out of nowhere. But anyway, back to my point. You ever watch a movie when people are just being nasty, evil, and maybe they're inflicting pain on someone for whatever reason, and you're watching the movie, and of course, we are just bad creatures. We like a little violence here and there, especially if it's on the screen. No one wants to see anyone suffer, but if we're watching a good fight, we might take a photo of it and say, wow, that was a good fight. But anyway, trying to stay focused. If you're watching some activity where someone may have the better hand on someone. Even as a kid, when I would see certain types of violence or certain types of, I'll even say it, gang activity, or when people are actually inflicting, pain on someone, I've always been like the person to say, what would happen if the tables were turned right now? Like if a person had someone like almost at the breaking point, like at extreme mercy, knowing that if it was them, they would not want that pain inflicted on them. But if you are like, the boss, or you're in have position or power or something, you can inflict pain on people who are weaker than you. And there's this saying that goes like this: there's no fun when the rabbit's got the gun. So I'm kind of speaking along those lines. But back to the movie situation. When you're watching, just think of a scene, any scene, where you see someone is actually, let's see, getting beat up, or just having some kind of crime committed against them. If the perpetrator of that act or incident was to all of a sudden have some magic to happen, and the tables are turned, and that very same person that you are abusing or disrespecting or just doing harm to could just right then and there, right when you've got them at the point where they may not even be, even alive, if they could just turn the table, how would you feel? I'll wait. I'm asking, not you, whoever you are, but how would that person feel, if the tables were turned? And if I could quote the Bible for 1 second in speaking about doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, or my favorite interpretation, not do unto others as you would not have them do unto you. Now, don't get me wrong. I guess that's why we have a court system. And I guess that's why, the term eye for an eye, came. And, if you are wrong, punishment is necessary in some cases. People have to be dealt with, and there must be some forms of deterrence, to keep people from, abusing other people and other people's property and stuff like that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you are if you're just mean and nasty and you just want to be mean to people. And there's something I want to mention, but I'm not going to say that. It just popped in my head. I'm going to let it go. But people let's just talk about slavery for a quick moment. Let's just say during one of those whippings or sellings, it used to just grip my heart when I would watch, old slave movies, when, the slave master would kick in the door and then say, we're getting ready to take Junior and Jane, and we're going to sell them off. And then the mother would be just crying. And then maybe they'll slap the father and just treat them bad and just snatch the kids out the house and then go sell them to somebody. That's wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it was legal. It's just inhumane. In my mind, even as a little kid, I would say, what if that just changed around? How would that man feel if someone went into his house and did that same thing to him? You don't have to answer that. But that's what I'm going to just talk about for a quick moment. I do have a video coming up, something that I found from my old days out at Gulfstream. And the audio is not that good, but I'm archiving some of the stuff that I am putting on my site for my grandkids, because one day in about 45, 55 more years from now, I'm not going to be here. And I want my great grandkids to say, that was my grandpa. He wasn't the best sax player, but he definitely played his heart out. So I'm just kind of archiving some stuff and saving some stuff and putting some things, in on the public platform. Some things I'm just keeping to myself until a given point. But I have a video that's coming up. The audio is not that good, but I remember playing that. It's about 4 or 5 years ago. It's an old video, but I'm going to resurrect it. But anyway, trying to stay focused. Just remember, you're if you are at the age of accountability, let's just say if you're older than 9 years old, when what you're doing is not right. When what you're saying is just wrong. If you're flat out lying, cheating, or stealing anything. Well, let me just, I'm catching myself. It's kind of funny because guess what? I'm not perfect. I may have stretched one truth here and there, but not lately, not in the last 20 years. And there are some things, sometimes we will be extended an inch and might take, an inch and a half, not a whole mile. But back to my point, I got to stay focused. Come on, man, stay focused. If you know what you're doing is just wrong and inhumane, and you would not want that same thing done to you, just think about it for a moment. Just because you have power, to whom much is given, much is required. And if you have a lot of anything, you're required to be responsible with the power that you have. And just going to try to close and leave it right there. Okay. And Al is trying to say, go ahead, a short preview. No, man, you got to be patient. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some photos next week, and then I'll get maybe some comments from you guys and see. It's just an incredible story. It really is. I think about it, my mind is just blown, because what are the chances? What are the chances of happening? What happened and the way it happened? It's going to be an interesting story. So tune in next week. Okay, next week on Swim. Anyway, but I'm going to go. That's the message I want to leave you. Sometimes if someone is not being nice or kind to us, it's normal to feel a little down. Or maybe in my case, if things are not just lining up perfect, we can find ourselves worrying about the wrong thing. And then at another time, wishing we could be worried about that thing we were worried about. What did he just say? Anyway, just remember, keep your head up. It's going to be okay. Things happen. My life coach would tell me that challenges come so that we can see ourselves. So as much as we know when other people are not doing right or circumstances are not lining up, I don't want to always talk about people. Sometimes we'll set up something, a plan or something, and it just may not go our way. We just have to wait and be patient, or try something else. When at first you don't succeed, try again. Is that how it goes? But I just want to encourage myself, and hopefully you'll get the residue from that, or what is the word I'm looking for? You'll get something from it too. Keep your head up, regardless of how you feel or what things look like. If you are walking in the right direction, you will eventually succeed and arrive at your destination. Don't be discouraged because it starts to rain or the road is out. You may have a flat tire. Anything could happen that could even be working in your favor. And as one of my favorite books goes, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. Well, I do love the Lord, and I know that I am called for a purpose, and I believe it's his purpose. So I was feeling a little down. I had my little pity party, and now it's over. And tomorrow is a whole new day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well as the weekend with my buddies I'm going to hang out with. All right. So everybody that's with me now and people who will watch later, thank you so much. I'm going to play a short, quick set of commercials since I've got plenty of time. And then I'm going to play that song. It's a classic that I like to play. And I remember this song in the movie, one of 007 movies. Shirley Bassey is the original artist, and the song is called Diamonds Are Forever. Don't pay attention to the sound of the audio because my camera guy was recording from the camera. We weren't recording from the actual mixer so we could get the full sound, but it's still a good sound, good song, good video, and we definitely had a good time that evening. So I'm going to take off. I'm going to go. By the way, also the book, I was reading over it last night. That might have brought some of my energy on too. But I was reading over some of the things that I might have to make adjustments to. That's another story within itself. Anyway, I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. Remember, regardless of how it looks, regardless of how you feel, if you're doing the right thing, keep on going. Okay? That's for me. If you got something out of it, good. But anyway, don't move. I'll be back with a video, and I'll see you next week with an incredible story. Okay? Ciao.
Mighty Horn Music. Mighty Horn Music.
As time draws near and you plan your social events, call Mighty Horn Music for a party you and your friends will never forget. From banquets, receptions, family reunions, and church functions to birthday, executive, or private parties, Mighty Horn delivers. Event packages include live musicians, psalmists, comedians, clowns, and a karaoke show that's guaranteed to make you laugh. Mighty Horn Music specializes in providing a variety of music to keep your guests going for hours. Mighty Horn Music. Let us create a custom sound for your special event. From start to finish, Mighty Horn Music will plan your theme, decorate, cater, and entertain your guests with class and style. This year, make your events live with Mighty Horn Music. Call 786-487-7338, 786-487-7338, or log on to mightyhornmusic.com and let's party.
Mighty Horn Music. Smooth jazz, top 40, R&B, inspirationals, and more. Live from the Hollywood Home Studio. Like, share, subscribe. And thanks for tuning in. Knowing the difference and choosing wisely. It really is okay to be afraid. It's just not necessary. Adversaries are wired to make a lot of noise. It's their greatest weapon. as it invokes instant fear. We're all handpicked by God, but it's our choice to be used by the devil. It is quite natural to be leery of a lower and or higher frequency. Knowledge and or wisdom insists that we either tune in or tune out. Fear is natural and normal. Fear can be our friend or our enemy. Why do we laugh after a joke or a prank that frightens us? Ever notice during that split second of fear that it's not funny at all? It's because fear is a natural reaction. It's not a natural response. Know the difference. It really is okay to be afraid. It's just not always necessary. SWYM. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
You know, sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone. But you got to keep on searching. You got to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. For example, take me standing right here today. I would not be here with you if I believe the things that the people say. You gotta keep on searching.
Yes, you do.
Keep it on the cold side.
Keep on looking around.
Good night, everybody, and thank you.